Hey everybody, this is Tom with Running Shoes Guru, here to talk to you a little bit about the Altra Lone Peak 3.0. As the 3.0 implies, this is the third iteration of this very popular trail running shoe. This neutral trail running shoe is kind of a do-everything shoe that was made to tackle very tough races like Utah's Wasatch 100, where Altra's design team lives and works. And I want to tell you a little bit about what I loved about the shoe and then some things that I think that Altra could probably improve on a little bit. All right, stay tuned for the review. The Altra Lone Peak 3 is a neutral trail running shoe with a stack height of 20 millimeters and a pretty good amount of cushioning. And it's not on the maximal side, but it's not also in Altra's really lightweight trail shoe arena, which would be a shoe like the Superior 3.0, which just came out. So this third version of the Lone Peak follows a couple of older versions that were lauded for their durability and their cushioning, but also kind of given a lot of criticism for being a little bit too loose in the upper, not keeping the foot locked down enough, and runners kind of felt like their foot was sliding around a bunch on downhills especially. So with this version, they aimed at correcting that and kind of aiming for that do-everything all-arounder trail shoe crowd. This shoe does great on a variety of trails. I really don't think there's a terrain it can't handle because it does have things like a rock plate and it does have a really locked down feel. Let's start with the upper and tell you about some of the great features of the shoe. First of all, I love the fact that Altra really reinforced the toe box and the rand area. The rand is this area of the shoe that is protectant right above the midsole, and that makes it puncture resistant, makes it fend off any sharp rocks that might come and hit your foot if you land funny. And it also is great if you're kicking any rocks and you're going to go down. That way you don't break off your toenail and end up hobbling in for a DNF. The rest of this upper is pretty breathable, but I will say it does not shed water well. I wore this shoe for 53 miles of the Bear 100 last year when it was snowy and rainy, and it was waterlogged. It was a mess. There's also some other things I learned about this shoe on that day that I wasn't too happy about, but I should be a little bit more intelligent with my shoe choice, I think, in those conditions. The rest of the upper is just bomb-proof. I mean, I could not put a hole in this. This is a shoe that probably has, I don't know, 550 miles on it. And I ran most of my summertime last year in the shoe, and I just could not break it down. Well padded throughout the rest of the upper, no issues. Pretty loose heel cup, which is typical of Altra. This natural style running shoe doesn't put a lot of torsional rigidity into their shoes because they want you to feel like you're running barefoot with some cushioning. As we get into the midsole, again, we've got a 20 millimeter stack height of Altra's A-bound midsole. A-bound is kind of like a super ball material. So if you remember those old super balls from when you were a kid and you throw them down, they bounce back up. That's what A-bound feels like. It's pretty awesome. I like it because it doesn't break down. It does pretty well in cold temperatures as well as hot temperatures. And I feel like I can always get 500 miles off an Altra shoe, which is kind of my gold standard for durability. And with this midsole, it is zero drop, and that is something that Altra has in all of their shoes. Now you can buy an aftermarket heel wedge if you need some pronation support and you would like a little bit more of a drop. You can do that, but it's not necessary. Transitioning to zero drop can be difficult for some people. It typically takes me about 3 weeks in a new Altra shoe. If I've been running in a 5 to 7 millimeter drop and all of a sudden I go into zero, I'm going to experience sore calves for a couple weeks. Nothing big, just be careful. I wouldn't jump right into the shoe for a long run. This is great cushioning though. As we get into the outsole, Altra also has given a little bit of guff in their last versions of the shoe for people shearing off the lugs. And as you can see here, they've deepened the lugs just a little bit, but then also these lugs, the durability on this is not quite Vibram rubber, which is kind of the industry standard, but very heavy, very durable, very heavy. This is almost to that level. So I've put almost no wear into this. And I'm really impressed with this Trail Claw outsole and how durable it is. The shoe is not the lightest on the market. We're coming in at, for my size 10, was about, I think it was 10.8 ounces. on my male scale. So that's not the lightest in the market, but it is kind of an all-day cruiser. So this isn't the type of shoe that I'd necessarily pick out to run a fast trail race like a 10K or a half marathon or even a marathon. But if I'm gonna be out there all day, 50 miles, 100 miles, yeah, this is a shoe that I do like. Now, going into the things that were deal breakers for me with this shoe. Altra is known for having really incredible wide toe boxes, and that's awesome. Now with this shoe, because of the lockdown issues and people wanting some more stability, especially on downhills, they kind of hemmed in the toe box a little bit, and you can feel it, especially right across here. And that is not great. I think that some runners do fine with it. For me, it seemed to put a little bit of pressure on my metatarsals, and after 30 miles in the shoe, I could definitely feel it. I also felt like there is some issues with the shoe in mud. It does not shed mud well. I don't know that a lot of trail shoes that do great with shedding mud, besides shoes that are specifically made for running in mud, like Innovates and Solomon's, but this shoe in particular really picks up mud. And it is nice that they have this little gator trap here where you can hook your gaiters to this hook up here and cover the shoe, and also it velcros back here, and Altra does sell gaiters that go with the shoe. But overall, I feel like this was a 3 out of 5. I feel like they had all the greatest parts of the shoe, which are essentially the midsole, and then they kind of messed up some stuff with the upper. So I'm hoping on this next version, the Lone Peak 3.5, that Altra really nails it and makes this my go-to all-day trail shoe, because it is a fantastic platform. If you've never tried an Altra, I think you're missing out. I think that even if you're afraid of the zero drop, even if you think they look duck-footed, I think you're definitely missing out. It's just comfort, and I really enjoy the fit of their shoes and the new materials they're using, as I think they're competing with the best running shoes on the market. So check these out. These are a must-try, in my opinion. Otherwise, I wouldn't give them this extensive of a video review. But we're looking at $120 retail right now. These have been out for a little while, so you probably can find a good deal. Look on runningshoesguru.com for that. And thank you for watching this review.